Chasm is the latest title to get on board the nostalgia train with its retro-inspired pixel graphics, while simultaneously getting on the current bandwagon of dungeon crawlers full of beasties and backtracking.
Well, Goose, it's actually also on the hype train after its developers, BitKid Inc. successfully kickstarted the game 5 years ago, so expectations are high. Chasm is an old-school inspired side-scrolling platformer that tells the tale of a newly adorned knight who is sent on a mission to a nearby mining town where the residents have mysteriously disappeared after digging a little too deep, unearthing all manner of vile creatures.
Once you arrive at the abandoned town and gain access to the mine, you set off to explore its maze-like tunnels, freeing townsfolk, bashing up beasties, all the while uncovering clues to the mystery of the ancient civilization that now lies beneath. It's not the most original storyline, but it does quickly get you where you need to go, which, in this case, is down.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't say I was that interested in the generic fantasy plotline here. Especially as so much of it is just written up in diary entries or explained to you through long-winded dialogue. I much prefer to explore on my own, wandering aimlessly through the tunnels, something Chasm excels at through its use of procedurally generated map design. I'm not exactly sure how they did this though. Something to do with seeds? Wait, can you grow a map from seeds? Is that a thing? When did this become a thing?
Ah, Pip, you're not far off there. Chasm uses a randomized string of numbers known as a seed to generate its level layout, piecing together pre-designed screens so that the map feels less designed and more natural. It's a similar process to that used in Minecraft, where whole worlds are generated and subsequently barcoded with a particular set of numbers and letters. Oh, so many seeds, so many permutations.
Thanks, Darren. That is such a complex theory.
Sure is, although I can't say I really noticed it in this game. Screens were just often repeated in my particular playthrough, and many of them just felt like straight corridors with different mixes of monsters. Then again, it is interesting to see it combined with a Metroidvania Style game.
Oh, I know this term. Okay, it's basically when a game doesn't allow you access to an area until you have a certain item or ability before backtracking there, using it, and then progressing forward.
Yeah, spot on, Pip. Yes. It's made famous by combining the titles of Metroid and Castlevania, the two games that pretty much invented the concept. And Chasm is definitely a Metroidvania, with emphasis on the Vania. That medieval setting, a huge array of fantasy weapons, spells and power-ups, plus those crucial items and abilities that open up new areas of the map. The whole thing is just one giant love letter to that castle-crashing NES game from the 1980s.
It's a real shame then that it doesn't play as well as its influences. For starters, there's a real blandness to the environments, helped in no way with the dull soundtrack and generic main character. Although I really did enjoy the creative creature design and all their different attack patterns. But they only highlight the out-of-date controls, which leave you stuck to the ground after swinging your weapon. It just feels clunky, especially after I discovered a workaround by jump attacking instead.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing. It all just felt a bit underdeveloped, especially that save system. Sure, having to find a specific save point does add to that old school difficulty, but they did seem unfairly far apart. And sending me back to the main menu after being defeated is just asking for a rage quit. Also, how's this? After beating that first tough boss, I proceeded deep into the new zone before eventually dying. Only then to realise that my last save was before that boss. What game doesn't put a save point straight after a boss fight? I mean, come on, how many times must I defeat this infernal creature?
Why didn't you just backtrack after the fight and then use the save before the boss room?
That's actually a really good idea, Pip. But that's not the point!
You do eventually open up shortcuts that can lead you back to town to purchase items from freed townsfolk. And once you grind your way to a decent level, the combat becomes far more forgiving. But it is a long slog to get there, and I can't say I felt the urge to delve any deeper after playing for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I totally agree. And as much as I usually love this old school kind of gaming, there's nothing here that really sets Chasm apart from other better games in the genre, like the quirky SteamWorld Dig or the super moody and stunningly crafted Hollow Knight. Personally, I'd say you're better off spending your time in those worlds than this hole in the ground. I'm giving Chasm 1 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I can definitely see the love and respect from all the old games that have come before it, but after being in development for 5 years, I mean, I was expecting something a little bit more entertaining. So, for that reason, I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5 rubber chickens.
I mean, when you think about it, it's more of a Metroidvania.
Oh